Saint Olaf, ladies and gentlemen,
Boys and girls.
also known as Olaf the Second
Who was Olaf
Ooh.
the first?
or
His mom.
Olaf Stout.
Maybe.
But he
Olaf
was
the Stout?
yeah,
Was he
Oh.
stout?
I guess so.
just a bit. But he was the king of Norway from 1015 to 1028.
Oh, that's right.
Viking king. He was born in 19.
I would say, I don't think so.
He was born in 995
Whoa.
AD.
Early on.
Yeah. He is the only Viking Viking king to completely unite Norway.
Ah.
There weren't any other contradicting rulers at that time.
I mean,
It was
with a name
just
like
him.
that.
Yeah.
Was he ruthless?
No.
Okay, so
Yes.
he was a.
I mean, yes and no.
If you got on his bad side.
There's a very strong chance that the anime Vinland Saga covers parts of this because that's the time period that Vinland Saga is in.
Could be. We talked about this a while ago.
Yeah. Vinland Saga might have been was around when he was alive. Maybe it happened just before he.
Yeah.
Because that's to do with Christianity and stuff too, right?
Right.
Yep.
So
You should watch Vinland Saga.
I can't. It's in
We'll
it's in
figure
Japanese.
it out.
It's in Japanese. I can't.
We'll
dub
figure it out. But after you watch JJK,
I'm not gonna watch subbed.
we'll
Subbed.
we'll figure it out.
Well, anyway, I'm not gonna get another subscription service either.
Anyway,
So he was born in 995 in Norway as the son of a Viking lord. Olaf spent his early years as a Viking warrior participating in raids all the way back in England. So he would cross the sea back and forth, do raids, have a good old time over there, right? So he was eventually baptized as a Christian around 1013.
Oh, really?
so yeah, that's the ending of Vinland Saga
Okay.
that year.
Well, he was baptized either 1013 or 1014, one of the two, around in Normandy. So during a period when he encountered vibrant Christian communities.
Like while on his raids?
Sure. I mean, I don't see why else.
Sounds like Paul.
And silent.
Well, or not necessarily
No.
on his raids. Could have been converted areas, because like there was a lot of Christianity stuff.
Like
happening.
missionary people.
So after his conversion, he returned back to Norway with the strict purpose of unifying Norway under Christianity. He believed in Christianity. He didn't believe in the old gods anymore, and he wanted others to believe. And he became king in 1015, succeeding in consolidating power over much of Norway. Like I was saying before, he was able to unify the entire country rather than independent kings and warlords throughout the area. So, let me find my notes here. And okay, so he became king in 1015, succeeding in consolidating power over much of Norway, including the central and southern and eventually the northern regions. So pretty much the entire country, like I've said 4 times already. And
How much of the
defeating,
country though?
I don't know
Was it
percentage wise.
Was it the full country? Just
Sit over there, you book boy.
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
just messing with you because
But-
you've said it so many times. I do that to my mom when she repeats herself a lot. I start being like, okay, and asking her. It
So this is where it starts getting interesting, okay?
was already interesting.
So he was defeating rivals like Earl Swaney,
Oh,
not Sydney Sweeney.
He's defeating Sydney Sweeney in her jeans.
he didn't do a good enough job.
At the
Oh,
battle
she
of
survived.
at the Battle of Nesjar in 1016. He worked aggressively to Christianize the realm, building churches and bringing clergy, often from England, which is ironic, given the case that he was going over there.
Yeah.
He went over there many times.
That was his old life.
Yeah.
It's under the blood.
He's literally like Paul.
Under the blood. Under the blood.
One raid, he's showing up to hack you down, and the next one, he's like, hey, come back and preach with me.
Yeah. But he was also destroying pagan temples, enacting laws based on Christian principles, and suppressing heathen practices.
So it's kind of like doing his own little crusade.
Yeah, pretty much, in a way.
That's cool.
Basically like an Old Testament priest.
He was purging out the Norse.
Yeah. So he was doing this and tearing down pilgrim statues of false gods and so on and so forth, all throughout Norway. And these efforts that made him a key figure in Norway's transition from Viking paganism to Christianity. His rule was strict and sometimes harsh, which combined with resistance to centralized authority and opposition from powerful clans, as well as the Danish. Also, the Danish got involved a little bit. Danish influence under Canute the Great.
Kunta Kinte.
Canute, possibly.
That's Finland Saga.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, some of this stuff ties in.
Okay.
So, but they led to rebellion. He forced into exile in 1028 to 1029, spending time in Russia. The Saint Olaf, King Olaf, he was exiled to Russia during for about a year.
And this is where he becomes a snowman.
Or about 2 years, and then returned back in 1030 to reclaim his throne. Sadly, he was killed in battle, fighting the other warlords in the name of God,
Of Jesus Christ.
trying to bring Christianity to Norway. So
Just convert. Just hacking away.
well, he was trying to reclaim his throne. That way he could,
Just believe
Rule.
before I slaughter you.
yeah, rule and convert, basically. So, and he died in July 29th, 1030, where he died praying, God help me, and struck down by an axe.
Oof.
Yeah. However, this is one reason why he became a saint. Miracles were soon reported at his burial site in Nidaros, Nidaros, leading to his rapid canonization around 1031 by local bishops, which doesn't happen very often, being solidified as a saint. Burp. But it doesn't happen that often to be able to be solidified as a saint. But because of these confirmed or reported miracles, they solidify his sainthood. Yeah, I was trying to find the words to clarify that. But his shrine in Nidaros Cathedral became a major pilgrim center in Scandinavia during the Middle Ages.
And what were the miracles?
It doesn't really say.
Just trust this, bro.
Trust me, bro.
Not you. Them. They said the miracles. That guy. Saint.
It's a miracle we killed him.
Trust me. And they said, okay.
So the miracles that were supposedly done around his burial was, number one, the supernatural preservation of his body, with his hair and nails continuing to grow. Most people that are put into sainthood, their bodies are preserved very well, consequently. Or not consequently. What's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? I guess that's the word I am thinking of. Anyway,
It works if it's not the
Yeah.
word.
so there's a lot of people throughout history that whenever they are brought up to be confirmed as saints, their bodies have been well preserved accidentally. But
Oh, so coincidentally? maybe?
coincidentally, there we go. Yeah. So, but with the hair and the nails growing long, that
I think that's normal.
yeah, because the reason why people this is a myth that goes around a lot.
Yeah.
Especially during the time when with grave robbers, when people were robbing graves a lot, they would dig up people dead and they would look and it looked like their hair had grown, but in reality it was just the skin and flesh shrinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, the water and stuff
Yeah.
going, and so like you tightened up.
Yeah, and so that's why the nails looked really long too. This also kind of gave away to the myth of vampires too. There was apparently the healing of a blind man via his blood, meaning Saint Olaf's blood got into the guy's eyes and healed his
Really?
eyes.
How did that even happen?
I don't know because he's been dead.
Yeah.
For, I don't know. So
He was a grave robber.
but he was well preserved, is what they were saying. Then number 3 was the appearance of a holy healing spring, a water spring, a natural spring.
On his grave?
Just at the site of his burial.
Okay.
Yeah, appeared and
Weird.
yeah. So that's one of the reasons why they automatically said he's a saint. Put him through. He fought for the right of God. So I mean, to recap, he was raised in a culture of war. I mean, he would
Yeah.
go in on
Yeah.
raids and fight the enemy and pray to pagan gods
Yeah.
and
He was your standard Norse.
Viking
Guy.
dude, right?
Viking.
And he became a commander and a conqueror, and eventually worked himself up to be a king. But before he was a king, he converted to Christianity. But the power did not satisfy him. Or just being a king in battlefields and on the throne, but he encountered Christ and converted. And he found a higher allegiance. When Olaf took the throne of Norway, he did not rule like a regular pagan king. He could have. He could have prayed to the gods of his time, Thor, Odin, so on and so forth. Instead, he chose to be an outlier and he chose to live for Christ. And he wanted his nation to live for Christ also. And he tore down idols and he broke pagan altars down and he called the nation to baptism. He wanted everyone to turn and repent. And the old gods, the old warlords, the old kings, they fought back. They didn't want him to be king anymore, so the chieftains rebelled and formed allies against him and turned against him and exiled him. But Olaf, he could have turned. He could have turned and backed down and said, "Okay, fine. I won't do this anymore. I'll convert back to the old gods." But instead, he stood firm, and he decided to fight for the crown and fight for Christ, not just for the sake of having the throne,
Right.
but also for his nation to be saved too. So at the Battle of Stickelstad,
Dude, these old school names are funny.
yeah,
Old Stickelstad.
Saint Olaf marched with his army, with his men, against overwhelming odds. And he knew that he would probably die in the battle, but he didn't care. But he would not bow at all. And steel clashed, and shields split, and blood covered the field. And the king,
That's when the guy who was blind,
yeah,
who was out there fighting blind. and then-
Got in my eyes. I
But-
can see.
My eyes. Wait, my eyes.
but
I
he
can see.
didn't he didn't fight in the background like how British commanders do.
Yeah, British are.
Wow. Way to
Cowards.
call out the British.
Huh?
Did he give a great war,
He was right.
display when Pakistan and India are going at it like that?
Why did you read that?
Wow.
No, but he fought in the front line. He was the first man to go in the battle, and they struck him down. He died, and he was surrounded, and there was no other. He was surrounded on the Norwegian battlefield, and the Viking warlord died as a Christian martyr.
Nice.
But it didn't end just there. His death ignited a revival over Norway. They didn't forget about him. They didn't just brush him off, the memory of him, but they didn't brush him off. But the men who killed him could not erase him. And his death ignited a revival across the country. And that's another reason why he became a saint, because of the impact that he had on his countrymen. And it's just it's a cool story
Yeah,
as far as like one man changing an entire nation over to Christianity. Obviously not every single person, right?
Right.
But I mean the vast majority.
Enough, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he's a saint. Can you become a saint while you're alive, or do you have to die?
There's been a few cases.
yeah. I'm gonna say I think
few
it's
rare cases.
incredibly rare, but
Yeah.
usually it's after death.
That's kind of... It's predominantly Catholic, right?
The Orthodox have saints too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I believe he's a Catholic saint.
Why do they get saints? Why can't we have saints?
We're all
Protestants?
saints.
Yeah.
No.
We don't pray to saints. Protestants, we don't pray to saints.
I know that, but like, this is our Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of would treat it.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people do treat it too. But at the same time, within the Catholic denomination, they pray directly to saints.
Yeah.
Like there's saints, each saint, they're over a certain aspect of life.
Right.
Yeah, this basically became like gods,
Yeah.
where it's like it's almost the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
they pray to saints, but they pray and ask them to take the message to Christ
Right.
or to Mary.
or to Mary, and then Mary take it to Christ, rather than just praying to God himself. So, and it's a little sacrilegious, you don't pray to any other man except for Christ. You don't pray to Mary except, I'm not,
Except for except for what?
yeah, well, we're not going to go too far down into Catholicism here, but
Not this time.
I just think, like you said, the majority of saints are incredible men, and they
St. Peter.
those that are in sainthood, they never back down from their faith.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why they become saints too. But And it's just cool stories to hear what they, because I mean, remember the saint that I talked about a long time ago?
Dionysus or whatever.
Yeah.
Where he walked around with his head in his hands,
I
still
mean,
preaching. Like,
If you're doing that,
if that's true,
Big F
yeah, if that's true, that's insane.
in the membrane.